I want to say it's flesh and blood. They move so fast.
Welcome to the wilds of Wells.
Welcome back to Adirondack Bigfoot. Today we have a special guest. We have Bud from the Wilds of Wells. So excited. We spent a lot of time together and we're chatting it up a lot lately, but I wanted to get something official on the book so everyone else could get to know the man, the myth, and the legend, Bud
Yeah.
O'Malley. Welcome, Bud.
Welcome. How you doing?
Good, good. How
Good.
are you?
Good. Real good.
Great, great. So, I know we wanted to kind of, we did meet up. We made a video where I interviewed you in person, but the audio came out crazy. We'll talk
Yeah.
about that later because I think that plays into the whole conversation probably, right? So,
Yeah.
um, but I wanted our viewers to get to know you a little bit better and put a little spotlight. So if you can kick it off by telling us a little bit about yourself, that'd be appreciated.
Okay. My name's Bud O'Malley. I live in Syracuse, New York,
Mm,
which is a little over 2 hours to Wells from where I do my research. Married. I have three wonderful boys and a wonderful wife. I am originally from Ohio. Bigfoot,
Bigfoot, that is,
Bigfoot country.
yeah, yeah,
Didn't know it at the time when I lived there. Wish I did.
yeah.
Actually, where Matt Moneymaker recorded the famous Ohio How was only about 12 miles north of where I grew up.
Wow.
And it was right after I left, of course, in '93.
Yeah,
But I I have three wonderful boys. They're all grown. My oldest is getting married next month, so that's great. Uh, and got two little dogs, which will probably be wandering in here at some point, seeing what I'm doing.
Zuzu is one of them, right?
Zuzu, yeah, my little Chihuahua.
Mm-hmm.
And Anna, she doesn't like the stairs, so she might not come down here. But Zuzu, she's always following me, seeing what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just in the Bigfoot, and me and you trying to figure out what's going on out there. And
Yeah,
it's just a passion of mine right now, and we've been pretty successful up there, and then just that's about it. I'm a
great.
pretty boring guy other than that. I mean, there's
Ain't
really
we
not.
all? We're all creatures,
Yeah, it's just you
right?
get caught up in something, and and you
So,
get you get into it, and
mm-hmm.
that's it.
Well, let's back it up. So you said you're from Ohio, but you weren't interested in the Bigfoot culture when you were living there. So now you're in New York. So what grabbed your interest and why are you interested in the Bigfoot culture?
Well, I've always been interested in it, but it was
Mhm.
kind of like, the general public it
Mhm.
was there. You hear about a story. This was before the internet, obviously. And Patterson Gimlin film, you'd see it on TV.
Yep.
And I've always had an interest in paranormal stuff, ghosts, Bigfoot, Loch Ness, UFOs, I've always had a healthy interest in it, but I didn't go out looking for it or, anything like that. And my dad was always in. I think my dad fed that more than anything. He was always into stuff like that. My whole
Mhm.
family was really. But I think when I moved to New York and especially the Adirondack region, first time I went there, I was like, wow, this is wilderness. This is, not like we didn't have it in Ohio, but
Mhm.
it was like, wow, you can get lost out here, And then, I mean, we went to Old Forge every year, you know.
Nice.
We drove through some other areas, and the first time, like, we drove from Old Forge through I can't remember the name of it now.
Eighth, seventh, sixth, fifth, fourth Lake.
Yeah, all that area, and then through Tupper Lake
Oh, all the way up to Tupper,
in,
yeah.
into Peru, that area, and it
Oh,
was
okay.
these are some big mountains, First time I
Yeah.
saw like the Keene Valley and stuff, I was like,
Oh, wow, yeah.
wow, yeah, that's really, I mean, people think of Ohio as being flat, which it mostly is, but I grew up in the Ohio Valley. So
Mm-hmm.
you had the mountains of West Virginia on one side, and then Ohio, and then the Ohio River. So it was mountainous where I lived,
Right,
you
right.
know. And then I started like Salt Fork. I was just an hour or so from Salt Fork,
Oh,
which is where the Ohio Conference is every year.
yeah.
It's famous for the sightings, and like I said, Matt Moneymaker, he
When
started.
when is that conference usually?
It's in May every year,
Oh,
like
is
the
it, May?
first week in May. Yeah. And I mean, we used to go to a lake which is not far from Salt Fork called
Mm-hmm.
Tappan Lake. So that whole area out there, it's all farmland and wilderness and it's, famous for Bigfoot. And like I said, Matt Moneymaker, when he was in college, I believe he was in college, uh, that's when he started his whole Bigfoot endeavor. Was in the area just north of where I live. Like, I think he was, I can't remember what college he was at or what exact area, but he was in the East Liverpool area and the Wellsville area. And that's where he recorded the Ohio How. And what he would do is he would, like I was saying earlier in our chat, what another person did, he put up yard signs.
Yeah,
Anyone have an encounter, blah, blah, blah. He did the same thing. And he talked to the Amish people, which there's a heavy Amish population in that area. And he would talk to them and they'd say, yeah, when I'm out chopping wood, because they have no outside contact, no phones, no TV, anything. So they
hmm,
have no outside influence. And he said, he would talk to these people and they'd be like, they're out chopping wood and doing their farm work and this and that. And they're hearing howls and knocks coming out of the woods. And they gave him a lot of information in that
yeah,
area. And that was just 10 miles from where I lived.
yeah.
And
So
then he,
is that what sparked your interest in Bigfoot or?
that's what, I mean, later on when I got into New
Mhm.
York,
Yeah,
and then, with the oncoming of the internet and everything and reading
yeah,
about what he was doing and all that, then I started, it was mostly internet, sleuthing
yeah.
got me into Bigfoot.
Videos,
Yeah,
podcasts.
videos, YouTube,
Yeah,
and yeah, all that
yeah.
stuff, looking at videos and all that.
Going down
And
wormholes.
yeah, yeah. And then I don't know if you've ever seen the video from Old Forge where the thing's walking up the hill
No.
in the pine trees. I'm sure you've probably seen it. You probably don't remember it.
Yeah, I'll have to
And
check that
I
out.
mean, it kind of looks like one, but then it kind of looks like somebody with a backpack. It's kind of hard to tell. But me and my son went up there and kind of reenacted it. We went on a hike up
Oh,
there
really?
and stuff like that. Yeah, that was years ago.
Hmm.
And it's like, I don't know what it is. We've
Yeah.
looked at the video and it's really hard to tell what it is. A couple
You're
kids recorded it.
you're not far from Old Forge. You're close, right?
We're closer to Old Forge, yeah.
Like what, an hour?
Yeah, a little over an hour. But we used to go to Old Forge every summer. That was our vacation,
Oh,
with
nice.
Enchanted Forest, the kids loved it,
Yep.
you know. And
Oh,
then
cool.
eventually we started going on vacation back to Ohio
Hmm.
and a place where we used to go when I was a kid. And oddly enough, it was like an RV park. And the owner of that had a whole Bigfoot theme.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I've heard.
signs everywhere. Yeah, yeah, Bigfoot Bridge,
I
Bigfoot
want to
Creek.
go.
Yeah, you'd love it. Oh, I
Yeah.
mean, everything was Bigfoot. The cabins were Bigfoot themed, and he's a great guy. I've known him my whole life. His family started the park in 1946, and they've been running it ever since. And
Wow.
Yeah, it's family owned and everything. So
Is it close to where the conference is in Salt Fork?
yeah, it's fairly close. It's probably about an hour away.
Oh, okay. That's so you could stay there and go to the
You could
conference.
stay there, yeah. I mean, it's primarily an RV park, for trailers and things like that. There's some people who stay there all year.
Yeah. Yeah.
They buy a lot, but
Right.
then the general campground and the beach and everything, I think they open Memorial Day.
Hmm.
I think. I'm not positive on that, but yeah, he's
Have
a
to check
great
it
guy.
out. So I was looking up. So the Bigfoot conference, Ohio Bigfoot conference, and they have it. They changed the date. They changed the name from 2025 to 2026, but they still have 2025 dates. So they haven't released the dates. I sent them a message saying,
Yeah, it's usually the first
looks like the first Saturday of.
the first Saturday in May, which is kind of early in the year. I mean, weather-wise, it's.
Well, the Florida one was April last year, which it makes sense for
Well,
Florida.
that's Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
And they
Maine and
moved to
Ohio, you can
June.
you can still get snow.
Yeah. They
You
moved it
know.
to June this year. And then Myra, she was there last year. I guess she's not going to be there because the same weekend I just saw a post. She's going to be in New Jersey for the Bigfoot Festival in New
Oh,
Jersey
really?
here. Yeah. On the same date. It's the same date as the Florida one. So I'm like, wow.
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah.
I wonder who's going to go to the Florida one then.
I don't know.
Um, great, great. So you're from the Wilds of Wells. You have a page on Facebook where you share a lot of information. So tell me a little bit about the Wilds of Wells.
Well, that started because I was getting so much uh evidence, I guess you can
Hmm.
call it that, from my area up in Wells with the pictures and the video I shot the Labor Day weekend of 2 years ago now, I think. Well, yeah, just over a year ago.
Hmm.
And as I analyzed the video and I was getting still pictures from it, the best I could. And I was sending them to you, like every 5 seconds it seemed, and a lot of audio and stuff. And I needed an outlet for it, and I didn't want to put it on my regular Facebook page because I have friends that just really don't care and don't want to see it. So I figure, I'll start a Facebook page just for that, to put all that stuff from my findings and wells on that page
Hmm.
so people could see it, people who were interested in it. And whenever I had something, I'd post it on there and tell the story behind it. And really, that's all it's for. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not looking to make money or build the page or anything like that. It's an outlet for what I find in wells,
Yeah.
and it got kind of scattered over time. I really have to go in and get my wife's expertise and clean it up and get a timeline going because I start with something from a year ago and then I'll go through and look and then I'll bring it back. And if people
Hmm.
think it's new, they're new to the page and they're like, "Oh, look at this! This is." I'm like, "No, that's actually from 3 years ago." So it's kind of all over the place. I got to really get it organized and everything, but there's a lot of there's a lot of stuff on there, especially stuff from the video, which
Yeah.
you've seen it. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. There's motion blur and pixelation, but something was there. It was moving so fast. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. So you created the page Wild of Wells to share what your findings, right?
Yeah, yeah.
In the town of Wells itself, which is in the Adirondack Park, um,
Hmm.
out by Speculator, Lake
Yeah.
Pleasant.
South of Speculator, north of Northville, north of Hope
Right.
area. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you
Um,
blink, you miss it. I mean,
yeah. Yeah. You would. You
easy.
would. So tell me about Wells. So what about what? How'd you find Wells? Why are you putting Wells on the map?
Well, Wells was a town that my middle son Danny,
Mm-hmm.
was going to school in Vermont. And before he got a car, we would drive him back and forth to school in Vermont.
Mm-hmm.
And Route 8 was the primary route through the Adirondacks. And we would take Route 8 and you come through Speculator and Route 30 and Route 8 join at some point, and you're going through Speculator, and then Route 8 cuts off and crosses the Sacandaga River, and then
Right.
goes back up the mountain, and then Route 30 continues on, and you go into Wells,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes south. And we'd always see the sign for Wells, and me and my wife were like, wonder what's down there, wonder what's in Wells. And then one year, my wife was looking for places to go for a week's vacation.
Mm-hmm.
We were going to rent an Airbnb somewhere, and we were at the point where all the kids were grown, and we didn't need, the fun and excitement of a water park or anything like that. We just wanted to go somewhere, relax, kind of isolated and just get away from it. And she found a Airbnb in Wells.
Awesome.
And she's like, look, this is in that town we always drive by. We never seen it. And it was beautiful. It was like more of like a cottage. So she's like, we looked at the pictures and they said you can see like the whole galaxy and the Milky Way from the backyard and everything, which I love, you
Yeah.
know. So she's like, you want to get it? I said, yeah, let's get it. So one day we drove up there, we looked at it, just drove by, it was perfect. So we rented it, and then we went up there and the first day, and later that day after we had brought everything in and kind of settled in, I went for a ride to check out the area, and I was going for a drive, and I saw the road that I go up. I don't really want to disclose that. And I drove up there, and like I told you and anybody else that I talked to, I felt something just in your bones, like something's not right up here,
Yeah.
and I heard some odd things and felt some odd things, and I just kind of knew that I don't know. It's just I think the guy we were talking to the other day, Dwight, he says it's alive up there.
Yeah.
You feel it. It's alive.
Yeah.
There's something special up there,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And
Sure
then
is.
we stayed there for a week. Me and my son and my wife went on a hike the next day, and we had an experience. I did, and my son, but he kind of won't admit to it. But he did leave shortly after that. Um, I didn't really go up there that much. I did go up the last night we were staying there because the family was playing like cutthroat Monopoly, and I don't get involved in that. So I went for a one last drive up there, and that's where I took the pictures of the whatever it is crossing the road. I mean that could have been some kind of reflection off of something, or it could have been a hiker crossing the road. I don't know. It was an odd spot to cross the road, but something was crossing the road, and I picked it up on my camera.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the last night we were there. I didn't see anything at the time. I wasn't looking for anything at the time. And then we left, but I did find a couple camping spots up there. And then me and my wife decided we were going to camp there. So we came back. I think it was in October because this was late August that we stayed up there. So me and my wife came, and we're very novice campers, at the time. So we came up to camp sometime early October, I think. It wasn't that far after that. at the campsite, and it was about 3 a.m. We both woke up, and she said she thought she heard something walking around outside, kind of half kidding, half,
Hmm.
worried. And I said, oh, it's probably a deer or something, and we're laughing and giggling and trying to get back to sleep on a half empty air mattress. And
The best.
yeah, it took us an hour and a half to put the tent up because my son had borrowed it and he put it back together like all cockeyed. And
Hmm.
uh, so we're laying there and, out of the darkness, we hear three knocks.
Mm.
And then we hear three more knocks. I mean, as loud and clear and close, and from two different directions. And I said, "Did you hear that?" And my wife's famous line, I won't repeat it, but there was a swear word. She said, "Let's run to the bleeping car." And I said, "No, let's just go back to sleep." And I remember that as if it was yesterday, and then that solidified it that there's something up there.
Sure.
And ever since, I've been going back up there. And then actually, I didn't go back up there till the next year. We
Mm.
rented the same cottage, and I think it was the first or the second night there. I went up solo camping up there by myself,
Hmm.
and it was the darkest night I've ever been somewhere in my life. It was just total blackness.
Wow.
Yeah, it was unbelievably dark. Nothing happened though. I didn't hear anything. I didn't, but that's when I started using my audio recorder all
Hmm.
the time.
Right.
And I started going up there like pretty much whenever I could. Every weekend I would go up. That's when I started getting a lot of audio recorders and, you know, tree knocks and limbs breaking and things walking around
Yeah. So
and just
would you consider yourself a researcher?
uh yeah, not in the classic sense, really, because really, I don't go looking for them
Hmm.
so much. I mean, I do. I look for footprints, I guess, around the area. I found a few. I did find the one off that trail,
Hmm.
but I wasn't looking for that one. I was just going on a hike. But when you're on a hike, you tend to look down, and even when me and you were out, I think we were both kind of you just kind of do that
Right.
because they kind of stick out. They're an abnormally, it's like, ew, that doesn't look right. The grass is disturbed, or, you kind of notice them when you've been doing this. But I don't, I don't have a bunch of gear, and I mean, my recorder is an old cell phone with the audio recorder built in, that's all I've used. And it works great. And I transferred the audio onto my other phone,
Hmm.
which has a thing that I can kind of fiddle with it and, you know, get the audio louder, and I can run it through a compressor so I can kind of pick up what's there. I mean, I'm
Hmm.
not altering it, I'm just getting the volume up. And I have a Zoom recorder. It's an older one. I really don't like it that much because I can't really transfer it because it's so outdated.
Mm.
I can't really use it I don't
Yeah.
really like it that much. I do bring it, I do use it occasionally. And then I had for Christmas last year I got uh night vision binoculars, which are good.
Great.
I did
Yeah.
use those, but those really kind of creep me out.
Oh,
You're sitting in the dark and you're looking and you can see everything in front of you.
oh,
Yeah, that's kind of creepy up there. But I did use those. They're good for stargazing too. You really see
wow.
a lot of stars. So I have that,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. I noticed you do a lot of do a lot of audio, a little bit of video.
yeah.
Um, And you have a lot of very interesting audio.
Yeah.
Which I think is funny because then the time we're purposely trying to record audio, it doesn't record. Uh,
Hmm.
super weird. A lot of weird things that happen up there in Wells.
Yeah.
So other than tree knocks, what other types of possible Bigfoot experiences have you had in Wells?
Well, we got the Knox, we got
Hmm.
the Rock Clack clip,
Hmm.
which I think is probably my favorite clip because I call it the Rock Clack because it sounds like something is clacking rocks
Right.
together.
Yeah.
And before the clip, and that's part of like an 8 hour clip. It's one little snippet of an ongoing, recorded all night. Like
Right.
when I went to bed at, 9, 10 o'clock, the recorder's going, and then I got to listen to the entire clip.
Right.
And then I see, oh, there's something, this little jump on the graph here. And then I listen to that, and then I splice that out, and then I analyze that.
Hmm.
But there's sounds like garbled speech of some sort right before the clack, and then
Wow.
after the clack, it's like that's what it sounds like
Yeah.
right after the clack. And then if you listen to the long version of that, something is walking around my camp. You can hear it,
Right.
bipedal, breaking sticks, walking around. Uh, don't know what that is. I was talking to Dwight, and I don't want to say it now because he has an idea of what that might have been, which really, really threw me for a loop. But we're going to talk about that on another show
Right.
coming up. But that was like, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that is a very interesting take on it. But a lot of wood knocks, that rock clack. I've had the static. I don't know what to make of it
Yeah.
because if it was the wind,
It's not the wind.
no, if it was the wind, it would just be wind blocking everything out. But you
Yeah.
can clearly hear there's like sticks breaking, branches breaking,
Hmm.
like puffing and walking behind the static, like either they're using the static to cover the noise that they're making. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't figure it out. And it's like they're turning the static off and on. Like you can almost hear it going off and on, you
Right.
know. And that is a fairly new phenomenon that has just really started last fall when me and my buddy Kevin were up there. And that when we were up at the far end of the other end of the road, and I left a recorder on the car and we went out for a little hike and came back, and that's when we picked it up. And it sounded like you hear like, and again, because I listen to these so many times and I pick things up, but it sounds like there's a little click, and it sounds like there's like a radio playing.
Yeah.
And then it's like when you tune like an old radio
Right.
very briefly, and then you start hearing sticks breaking and things like that, like something is walking around. And I know there was nobody there. I mean, it's not like you're at a campground and someone could wander by. There's only one way in and one way out.
Right.
And there's one house there, and if there's no cars parked there, there's nobody there. There's nobody at that cottage, and the other one's abandoned, unless there's a hermit, which could be
Yeah.
at that other trailer. But I don't know, and then it goes on for a little bit, then it stops.
Yeah.
And I started picking that up, and I tested the recorder where I walk at the Erie Canal,
Hmm.
which is a parking lot, and there's a road, which isn't a heavy traffic road, but there's a road right next to the parking lot. And I put that recorder on my car, left it there, and went for a walk. And I was gone for a half hour, and I came back and I picked up absolutely no static at all. No. So you tell me, and
Yeah,
then I put my Zoom recorder and that same recorder on my car at the same time, and me and my buddy Kevin were up there last fall, and they both picked up the same exact thing, the
yeah,
same exact static, and
super
it
weird.
wasn't winded at all. There was
No.
no wind at all, and we were 15 feet from the car, and it's picking that static up.
Yeah,
We didn't hear it,
we
but
didn't,
the
we didn't get
recorder,
any static when we made our casting video. So
no. But as soon as we left, it picked when your wife was there in the car.
mhm.
I don't know if I sent that to you. You can hear something growling
Yeah,
right by
yeah,
my car.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
don't
You
know.
did send that. There's always everything you do there. There's something strange that comes of it.
Every single time. Every time.
Owl mimicking, right? The
Yep.
Birdify app doesn't even describe it as an
Doesn't can't
recognize
identify
it
it.
as an owl, right?
The Raven one I sent you
Yeah.
identify the Raven, but the stuff that's after it doesn't identify it as a Raven.
Mhm. Yeah, all kinds of
Yeah.
weird craziness. Well, I guess we should get a little bit into what happened with us. So you invited me out to Wells. We went to check out a structure that you knew were there, and along the way there was tree twists, 8-inch trees just twisted. Super interesting, right? Trees down blocking the road, so we couldn't go down the road. There was a lot of strange things in that experience, and then we got to the structure. You put your hands on the structure, and immediately we got two wood knocks.
Yeah.
So we left. Um, and then we revisited that this year, right? We went back to say, okay, let's take another look at that, right? While we were making that casting video. Um, and I mean like a Bigfoot cast. We did a demonstration video. And you also cast prints too. You
Yeah.
have other prints that you've casted.
Yeah.
Um, so I would say that it makes you a researcher if you're casting prints.
Yeah. I guess so.
So we go back to the structure and it's demolished, right? So something has pulled this structure all apart. There's no way the way those trees are all tangled up that they would fall
Yeah, there's no way.
8 to 10 feet
No.
away,
No.
right? It's just impossible.
Yeah.
So while we were trekking back from that, we heard monkeys,
You hear
right?
me? Yeah.
Like,
We did.
what do you
Monkeys.
hear monkeys? Like, yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, I hear monkeys.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, ooh,
No. Ooh,
monkeys,
ooh, ooh, ooh,
right?
ooh. Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So luckily you had your recorder going like you usually do, and you were able to grab some audio of that. And then when you re-listened to it, it sounded like whoops, right? So it's unbelievable the amount of things that have come out of Wells. So when you named your page and you started your page, The Wilds of Wells, I was like, that's accurate.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Very accurate.
definitely The Wilds of Wells. Um, all right, so um. What anything else from a Bigfoot perspective or paranormal or anything else that you've come across in Wells in your adventures out there?
Uh, well, recently, the night before the conference,
Mm-hmm.
I heard the voice down on the trail, which is away from the campsite.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I went up to camp the night before the New York conference, and I went and first I went up to the end of the road. I was going to go on a hike,
Mm-hmm.
and the state had removed the bridge, so you couldn't get over the creek. So I said, "All right, well, I can't go that way."
Yeah.
So I came back, then I went to another little area that I was always curious about, and really there was nothing interesting there. So I
Mm-hmm.
went back to the campsite and I went over to where I filmed the Labor Day video.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember what David had said. He said, just talk to them, say, hey, I'm here. I want to see you, show yourself, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So I said, well, I'm here. It's the middle of the day.
Mhm.
What do I got to lose? I look like an idiot, but there was
Right.
no one here to see me. So I did that.
Yeah.
I raised my sweatshirt. I said, I don't have any weapons. I just want to see you. So I know I'm not crazy,
Yeah.
any crazier than I already am, you know. And
Huh?
nothing happened.
Hmm.
So I said, well, I got time to waste because when you're up there, you don't have any self-service at all. You have
No.
none. Okay. So
Zero.
I know I still have to go and eat and I got to call my wife.
Hmm.
Okay. So I got to go either 8 miles north or 8 miles south to get cell reception. So I want to put that off as long as I can because that's going to be the last thing I do for the day, and
Yeah.
then come back and do the fire and everything. So I got time that I want to waste some time. So I said, well, I'll go back to the trail down the road. I'll go on a little hike down there. So I'm like, okay, I go down there. I go to the trailhead. I know exactly where I'm going to go to. I have a spot already predetermined in my head. This is where I made a cast years ago where me and my wife heard the voice that I recorded in the woods.
Hmm.
So I said, all right, beautiful day, hiking along, do, 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 do. I get to that spot where I wanted to be. It was like a plank walkway, taking my time, just enjoying the day. And I'm walking back and I hear like knocking close by. Uh, Not like a Bigfoot type knock, but like a woodpecker type knock.
Hmm.
A little bit off the trail. So I go over and I'm kind of checking it out. I still don't know what it was. I think it was inside the tree, but there was a tree that had broken at its base, old dead tree, and it was kind of leaning, and there was something was tapping on it. I
Right.
mean, you could feel it. I think it was inside the tree. So I'm kind of investigating that, and I filmed it and everything, and I'm kind of looking at it, trying to figure out what's going on, and so I come back on the trail. I walk a little bit further, and I look down, and there's a glyph. I guess that's what they call it. And it's three sticks, one going this way, one going this way, one going this way. And
Mm-hmm.
they overlap. This one's going up, and it overlaps this one. And the one going across is overlapping the next one. And then there's a leaf on the corner of this one. There's a leaf on the this bottom of this one, and a leaf on the bottom of this one. And there's no way in hell
Mm.
I was there when I had just gone that way 10 minutes earlier. You were on that trail. That
Right.
trail's only that wide.
Right.
There wasn't a
Yeah.
lot of leaves on the ground. I mean, there were some, but there wasn't a whole lot. And I drag my feet when I walk. I always have. And if I would have went that way and that was there, I would have just completely destroyed it, or I would have noticed it because I'm always looking down. You have to look down when you walk up there, or you'll fall on your face. I
Yeah.
would have saw it. It was not there. And that was not a natural. I mean, there's pictures on my page.
Right.
That was that not a natural occurrence.
Right.
Something put that there for me to see specifically.
Exactly.
You will never ever convince me that that was not for me to see. Okay. So I filmed it. I'm looking, and at first I'm like, "Oh, that's pretty neat. Look at that. Cool." And then I started walking, and then I started filming. I'm like, "Yeah, all right, I get it." And I got freaked out. I really did.
Hmm.
I'm like, "Yeah, something put that there, and that something that put that there is here."
Hmm.
And that knocking in that tree was to get me off the trail so they could put that there.
Oh.
Yeah,
Huh.
I'm pretty almost put because I never saw what was knocking on that tree.
Right.
I looked. I mean, I'm looking up the tree and I'm at everything,
Hmm.
and I never saw what was knocking on that tree.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay. So I keep walking, and I remember this is the same trail. I heard voices and recorded voices talking. My wife heard them too. And my
Right.
wife is a very skeptical person. So I go up the trail, walk through that big kind of flat area that we were in, that we
Yep.
filmed. And I go up the hill and I'm going around the bend and just clear as a bell, I hear, now you live in our world. Just as if somebody is standing right next to me.
Mm.
And the first thing I thought was that it was my phone. That's my first instinct. So I pulled my phone out. It's not my phone.
Mm.
Okay. Like, sometimes you hit a hot spot and whatever was playing on your phone, which that wasn't playing. I had Neil Young playing on my phone last time I had it going in my car on Spotify. And it sounded like a specific person, like I told you.
Mm.
I can't think of it. He's a sports guy. That's the voice that was in my head. But I think my brain was like giving it a voice. You know
Sure.
what I mean? Like something familiar to me, which
Yeah.
now it may have been like I was telling you. I
Hmm.
think my mind was manifesting that voice.
Yeah.
But so I'm like, and I'm looking around, but it was like, I don't know, like we talked, like if it was mind speak
Mm.
or if it was actual voice out loud and I heard it. So I'm kind of like, all right, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
So I walked kind of in a daze to the end of, and I was close to the road. So I walked to the end of the road and I opened my car and I put something in my car, I think my water, and I went to the trail. See, is anybody on the trail? No, no one's on the trail. So I sign out. I said, well, I'm going to go back and try to reenact it. Maybe I hit a hot spot, Wi-Fi hot, and I'm going and I'm looking, and my phone said no service, no service. I'm walking around like this, trying to nothing.
Mm.
What that was, I don't know. But it was a voice as loud and clear as
Yeah.
somebody was standing right next to me.
And you didn't run.
No,
You went
no.
back to investigate.
I couldn't run. I'm just like, what was that?
Yeah.
But again, that would be the third time I heard a voice
Yeah.
on that trip. And the thing that kicks me in the ass, I had just turned my camera off because I was
Right.
recording. I
Hmm.
had just turned it. If I would have left it on for another minute, I probably would have picked that up.
Gosh. Woo! You got my heart
And then I
pumping.
had to camp up there. Then I
Yeah.
drove I drove down to Northville. I got something to eat and I called my wife. And she's like, "Well, what are you gonna do?" I'm like, "I don't know. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
I'm gonna camp." And I camped and I had pretty much I heard, the usual yelling. They're yelling all night. They woke
Yeah.
me up. I don't know if they're owls but all night you hear them. And I put my Merlin ID, the bird app.
Yeah.
I had my recorder going and I put my other phone, my Merlin app right next to it. And the Merlin app is hearing it. The green light is going. It's picking it up.
Right.
It's hearing it. It's recording it, but it's not identifying it as a bird.
Right.
And they're going whoop, whoop,
Mm.
all night long. I don't know what they are.
That's that's very interesting.
Yeah.
So lots of experiences up in Wells,
Oh, yeah.
in many different forms, which is super cool. So that makes sense that we need to document and share, right? Because it's just there's
Yep.
too much. So collaboration, and allowing other folks to hear and give their perspective, may help us connect the dots. So that's good. Great. So when you think about Bigfoot, what do you think Bigfoot is? What are your thoughts?
Uh, well, I think it's a physical creature.
Hmm.
And we talked about this last night
Yeah.
that I'm starting to be swayed to the other side
Uh-huh.
to the extent that there's other things at play.
Sure.
It has to be a physical creature because there's physical things going on.
Right.
There's
Right.
footprints, but the other side, I don't know. I mean, but you also have to look at all these other things I'm experiencing. Is it even related to the Bigfoot?
Right.
Could it just be an area that is conducive to, you know, ghosts and goblins and whatever?
Could be
Maybe
anything.
it's the area. Maybe it's high
Yeah.
energy area that,
Hmm.
Sasquatch are attracted to. Maybe it's, landlines or something like that.
Hmm.
And it attracts different things for different reasons. Maybe the voices and all that and the lights and the orbs are just drawn to it like a moth.
Sure.
And it's not related at all. Who knows? But I think
So what's your
some,
theory? What's your Bigfoot theory?
I don't know, man. I mean,
It's so hard, right? Because it
it
changes.
is.
The
It
more
is.
you learn, the more you experience, the more you
I mean,
talk with people.
I think the people that are hardline ape are just, I don't know. I can see why, because I was kind of like that, but I don't think you, unless you have inside information that no one else knows about,
Yeah,
how can you be that way? You don't know.
that's right.
You just don't know. It's like walking in a room of complete darkness and saying you know everything that's in that room and you've never been in that room.
Yeah.
How do you know?
Hmm.
And I know people like that. There's
Hmm.
people we've talked about, and they'll ridicule people who kind of
Think differently.
think differently and not even think differently, just kind of imagine,
Yeah. Explore other options. Yeah.
explore other options.
Hmm.
And that's kind of what I'm doing because I've had some really weird experiences up there.
Right.
And it's like I said, I don't go looking for them. I just kind of hang out up. That's all I hang out. I camp up there. I'm
Yeah.
a camper and this stuff comes to me.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like, but it's like, it seems up there, there's three different areas. The end of the road, up where that trailer is, the campsite area, and then that trail. It's like three different areas.
Yeah.
Why that is, I don't, but that's the only places I go.
You're
There
right.
might
You know,
be
I
other,
haven't, I never really thought about that. So I've been to all three areas and there is definitely a different vibe at each.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that when you get up to that end of the road up there, that is by far the weirdest place.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I mean, you've never been
I think the
where that,
camper just freaks you out. I know I didn't,
yeah,
I have not gotten out of the car. I did a
where
U
that camper
at the
is
camp. Yeah.
and that road goes. I mean, you can drive like with your car or my car, you can keep going, and then
Mm.
there's a little parking area. But once you go through those trees, all bets are off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're in a whole, that's so many. It's like I was saying in my message last night, I've had recordings completely upside down. I don't know how to record upside down. I could, if somebody said, "Here, I want you to record me, but do it upside, make it go upside down," I wouldn't know how to do it.
Right.
Your camera will automatically write itself. I've had a couple of recordings where I'm walking, like I'll turn my camera on and just start record as I walk.
Hmm.
And the whole thing, I get back and the whole thing is upside down. I don't
Yeah.
know how to do that.
Mm.
I've had one where it goes like two times as fast as it should. I've had where there's no audio
Mm.
and I'm not doing it, the upside down one was like, how did I do that? But I
Maybe
don't think about it at the time. I'm
maybe
like,
we got to get some paranormal equipment and get up there.
I think so. I would love to.
No, with the if there's electricity in the air
Yeah,
or
Scott has a
magnetism.
reader. I would
Oh
love to get
yeah,
him up there.
what is it
But
called?
yeah, there's
MF reader or something? I'm
yeah,
not.
that's where I first picked the static up there. But
Yeah,
yeah, once you get to those trees, man, it's like, okay, you're
interesting.
in you're in a different world now. Well, all kind
So Bigfoot's not ape, then what is he?
I don't know. I think it's
Or can he be ape, just paranormal ape?
I think it's a physical type, like with the energy and the vibration, maybe on, you know.
Yeah, I'm digging. You know me, I'm on that vibration and frequency kick now.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to do with that,
Hmm.
because that's not a theory, that's a fact.
Hmm.
You know,
There's
just
energy. Yeah.
because we don't understand it doesn't make it any less real,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, I think that's a very good possibility.
Yeah.
That would explain a lot, you know. If you can change your matter through vibration, and then that would explain, you know, the disappearances, when it just vanishes and things like that, but can
Hmm.
still be
Yeah.
physical enough to make prints and do this and do that. So, but who knows, you know?
Yeah. Who knows? We're on the journey to find out.
Yeah.
That's where I'm.
Anybody that says they do know, they're lying.
Yeah.
They're kidding themselves.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
might know aspects of it, or think you know aspects, but nobody knows.
I mean, all we have is one
Yeah,
clip of Patty
one clip.
walking. That's it. Um,
People don't even believe that's real,
yeah.
you know? So, and that's fine if you don't,
There's,
yeah. People don't want to believe it after all these years, but they only give one possibility of what that is, some cowboy in a suit. Come on. No. That's all they give. If it's not real, then it's Bob Hieronymus in a suit.
yeah.
There's no other possibility.
Right.
These two guys who were broke, basically just ranch hands, came up with this that fooled people for nearly 60 years now.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Experts, film experts, Hollywood makeup artists,
Hmm.
scientists, everyone. It's fooled everyone for all these years.
Yeah.
These two guys. Give me a break.
I love your passion.
You
I
know, it's
love
it's
your passion.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it's like, well, you know, Roger Patterson drew a picture of a Bigfoot with breasts, so it proves it's fake. So what? He was copying a page out of a book.
Yeah.
It doesn't prove anything.
So funny.
Here's a fact: the horses they use, they belong to Bob Hieronymus. Oh my God! What does that? It doesn't mean anything. They were all friends. Everybody knew that.
Yeah.
Roger Patterson was making a documentary about Bigfoot. Everybody knows that. It doesn't prove anything.
Well, it came out and admitted that he said it was fake, and here's the suit I wore. And the suit, it does not match
No, he came
at
up with
all.
4 different ways to put the suit on. He didn't even know where the film site was. He said it was like 20 minutes away. He lived in Yakima. It took 12 hours to get to the film site. They
Mm,
nearly died getting there
mm,
in the film site because there was a torrential rain and they were
mm.
trying to get out with the horse trailer. Bob Hieronymus is so full of crap, you know.
Yeah. Oh, crazy.
But I think he got kind of like guided into doing that.
Yeah.
I think there was somebody behind him be like, "You were the guy in that suit, Bob. You
Mm.
you you deserve money." Nobody got
Yeah.
rich off of that. Nobody got any money off of that.
Yeah.
You
I think
know,
I agree with that. Yeah.
that's why you have that thing behind you because it's never been patented.
That's right.
Nobody owns that copyright of
No.
that frame. You know, yeah, Bob in a suit. Oh, he walks just like him. I can walk just like him too, if you want me to. You know? No, he doesn't walk anything like him. The world-class
There's
athletes
been
can replicate
millions of
that.
studies on that. So
Yeah, it's like, come on, give me a break.
you can't get nothing has um proved it fake yet.
Nope.
So what's So what's next for the Wilds of Wells?
Well, I'm gonna straighten out that website, maybe get a timeline,
Hmm.
maybe a book deal.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right. And you got all winter.
yeah, I know I gotta do something. No, I'm gonna straighten it out and clean it up a bit. And I don't know. It's kind of see what happens.
I'm thinking maybe we should get out there quick for in the winter at some point just to see
Yeah,
what it looks like with snow. Is there any visible prints? Things like that.
yeah, yeah. I've never been there in the winter. I've been there in the fall,
Yeah, me neither.
all summer and spring. I mean, going up there in the fall is really eye-opening. You really get a lay of the land and you see
Mhm.
things that, because there's another road that connects to that.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they use it, but if you look on a map, some maps show it, some maps don't. It's
Mm.
called the same road, but it kind of branches off.
Oh,
I'm kind of wondering where it goes to.
yeah.
I don't know for sure.
Maybe that's a good maybe do lots of research. And then next
Yeah,
year
yeah, that's what I can try to do that.
hit it hard. I'm gonna camp out there at the New Year campground. I'm not going to that.
Back
I'm
in that.
not
Come
going
on,
there. I'll go there, hang out there in the day.
you can get your little pop-up trailer down in there.
I could. I'm pretty good
Yeah,
at whipping
we'll
that
be
thing
with
around
you.
now.
We won't let nothing happen to you. Lindsay will kill us.
I'm gonna book down the road and then come visit.
Hike up there. Hey
Yeah,
guys, I'm here.
yeah, I made it. I made it. Um, Anything else you wanted to add before we wrap it up, bud?
No, that's about it.
All
Just
right.
I appreciate all your time and effort, and you're really out there pounding the pavement, helping us all
I'm
do our
trying.
thing. I appreciate it. I really do.
Yeah, yeah. I got a lot of different things I'm trying to do at the same time. It's hard. I just wish I had more time. So
Yeah.
best I can with the time I have now. But
Yeah.
this summer was very eventful, as in
Yeah, I know,
I
man.
never stopped moving.
Yeah.
I need a
Well,
nap. I'm looking
you're getting
forward.
noticed. Definitely getting noticed, so that's good.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
You too. Well, I appreciate you. Thanks for sharing and hanging out with us.
No
And
problem.
I'll keep you posted. And I look forward to chatting more.
Okay, we'll do it.
All right. Thanks, bud.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
I want to say it's flesh and blood. They move so fast.
Welcome to the Wilds of Wells.